some like major technical difficulties just now, but I am on and I'm going to be hosting a short training on empath leadership and just really diving into this and seeing what it brings up for each of you. And then I have a very special announcement at the end of this live stream today. Are you ready? I'm gonna give everyone just a second to hop on because I want you to be here for the full journey and experience. It's gonna be so good. How are you guys doing? How's your day been so far? What's happening in your world? I'd love if you're planning on staying for this mini training, I'd love for you to comment below and just let me know what's surfacing for you. How are you feeling? What's going on? Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome. All right, let's dive in. So, what does it mean to you to be a leader? What does it mean to you to be a leader? Here's a literal definition and see if this resonates with you. The action of leading a group of people or an organization. Leaders help themselves and others do the right things. They set direction, build an inspiring vision, create something new. Leadership is about mapping out where you need to go to, quote, win as a team or organization. It is dynamic, exciting, and inspiring. Those aren't my words. Those are the internet's words. But I'm just curious, just as a launching point, as a starting point, I wanted to share that with you. And now I'm curious, what does it mean to you to be that leader? What words or keywords surface, within your mind and come up for you when you think about being the most empowered, embodied leader possible? As you guys are thinking about that, I just remembered that I've been having mucho issues with my comments on my phone whenever I go live. This is like very much the technology chaos for me right now. Is Mercury in retrograde? I'm gonna try to log on to my Facebook on my computer so I can make sure I can follow along and see all the things that we do together today. Hold up. Okay. I had to grab the code in order to get in. All right, so let's keep going. What does it mean to you to be a leader? And then I want you to just stream of consciousness share with me in the chat below, what does leadership equal to you? So what are some of the key words that come to mind and are unearthed within you when you think about being a leader? Is it strong? Is it powerful? Leaders are brave or confident or wealthy or smart or intelligent or embodied or impactful. You tell me. What word or keyword associations pop up into your mind when you think about being a leader? And this is going to be unique for each and every one of you. It's going to be unique for you. And as you share those in the comments and let me know, like, what are those keyword associations, I want you to also consider, would you define yourself as a leader? When you think about this and all those words that you just associated with leadership, do you also consider yourself to be a leader, or is there a different story that comes up when you think about yourself? Hallelujah. Looks like I got into Facebook on this browser so I can actually read your comments in just a second. If you guys are just joining, we're putting into the chat box, what are the keywords you associate with leadership? And then do you consider yourself, at this current moment in your life, do you consider yourself a leader? Hallelujah. There we go. Okay. And then why or why not? Why or why not? Why, especially why not? Not so much just why, but why not? If you just listed all these things like brave, strong, powerful, confident, wealthy, smart, intelligent, embodied, impactful as things that you associate with leadership, why don't? If that's the case, why don't you consider yourself a leader? Okay? And if you do, or maybe you're like, to some extent yes, and to some extent no, then I want you to also think about, okay, 0 to 10, let's really narrow in and hone in here on how strong of a leader you currently feel like. Are you like 10 out of 10, don't need this training today, Sarah? Or are you like, I'm a 1 because I barely consider myself a leader? Are you like a 5 and you feel like there's area for improvement? How do you feel? So just observe that. Observe that in your body. Observe that in your body. Observe if you feel like, no, I'm not. Why? Why don't you consider yourself a leader? And then I want you to try this again and take that same association of leadership. And I want you to think about all the things that feel a little edgy about truly stepping into your leadership role. What feels edgy about that? What are the words that come up? So leadership equals scary, fear, I'll be called out, I'll be wrong, I'll be made fun of, I'll be embarrassed, I'll get too nervous, I'm self-conscious, I'm not brave enough, I'm not pretty enough, I don't want the spotlight. When you think about the things that might be holding you back from being a 10 out of fucking 10, what are those things that you feel like you associate with leadership that are holding you back from truly stepping into that 10 out of 10 embodiment of that? And what are they? I just gave you a whole bunch of examples, but I want to hear from you. What are the things that you feel like are holding you back, that are scary, fearful, edgy, pushing the boundaries of your comfort zone, that make you go, I actually don't want to be a leader. That's just not what I want. But sometimes we do want that, and we kid ourselves, and our ego just says, well, you shouldn't want that because I'll be wrong, I'll be made fun of, I'll get too nervous, I'll be embarrassed, it's scary, it's edgy. Okay? Because at the core of our programming as empaths and as human beings, I think that we desire to feel important and to be seen. And then the empath layer comes in where it's like this strong desire to have an impact on the world, to have an impact on this world, to be of service, to provide and be the healing for the planet, which comes in so many different flavors, whether it's healing nature and Mother Earth or the environment, or helping children, or I help empath entrepreneurs. Or maybe you still have the desire to just help everyone because you have such a big heart. Whatever the stories that are coming up right now, the stories that are coming up that say, I'm going to be called out, that I'm too nervous, that I'm not brave enough, that I'm too self-conscious, that I'm not pretty enough, blah, blah, blah. Those are the stories that are what are standing, or at least part of what's standing in the way of hitting that 10 out of 10, I feel like a fully embodied, empathic, strong, powerful leader on this planet. So consider this for a moment. What if you were already that 10 out of 10? What if you already felt that fully and completely in your body, that 10 out of 10, I am an impactful, embodied, empath leader? What, if that were true, just play with it for a second, if that were true, what impact would you want to have on the world? What impact would you want to have on this planet? In whose life? In what location? What people? what animals, what parts of nature, what impact would you want to have? Because you're 10 out of 10, so there's zero doubt in my mind that you would be able to do that, that you will have all of that impact you desire. So if that were true, and if you were already that version of yourself today, what impact would you want to be having on this planet? And in my journey of empath entrepreneurship and empath leadership, the goals for my impact have evolved and changed over time. There's also an impact in my business and an impact more outside of my business, just like a pure passion. So for example, the impact when I'm a 10 out of 10 embodied empath leader inside of my business is to impact the other empath entrepreneurs and leaders of the world to do the inner work that affects their external outer world so that they feel unstoppable and they don't feel like their sensitivities will ever hold them back, and instead they can cultivate those as superpowers and be able to step into their self-confidence and get the fuck out of their own way. I want to impact those people so deeply. But outside of my business, I also want to have impact. So I have profit and revenue inside of my business, and then I get to choose what to do with those dollars. And those dollars, my big goal, my big desire, my big impact is I want to help to rescue animals. This is something I've wanted to do since the first time I went out of the country. I visited Costa Rica when I was like 18-ish years old. And I went on a service trip. It was a medical service trip, and we set up medical camps. Maybe I was a little older than 18. Maybe I was like 20. I don't remember. But we would do like basic healthcare checkups, and we worked with a doctor who gave some prescriptions for different like bacterial infections and so on and so forth to these very remote villages in Costa Rica, as well as Panama. And I just remember seeing stray dogs everywhere. And my little gentle empath heart at the time was like, this has got to change. We need to rescue all the animals, and not even just the dogs, the cats and the pigs and the goats and the chickens and all the animals of the world. And I think about this almost on a daily basis, even though I'm not posting about it on social media. I think about this on a daily basis, how much impact I want to have on little furry creatures' lives, and how much I want to do with the income that I earn in my business to help have an impact, like a trickle effect and a compounded impact in other areas in which I'm passionate about. So what is the impact that you want to have on the world if you knew that you could easily snap of your fingers today, step into that version of you that is 10 out of 10 embodied empath leadership, fully confident, fully powerful, fully in clarity in her message, and there's zero doubt that you would be able to do that? What would you want to do? What would be the impact you want to have on this world? This, my friends, this is what truly motivates you. This is your deeper why behind stepping into a leadership, business, coach, healer, entrepreneurship role. And I find for so many empath leaders that money or more traditional rewards are not what motivate them to step outside of their comfort zone and get into a leadership role. Have you noticed that at all in your own life? That money or more traditional methods of reward are just simply not what make you want to get out of your comfort zone, or that actually drive you to get out of your comfort zone. It has in the past for me, but I find that the deeper impact and the deeper why is why I truly push myself to do it and to get out of the comfort zone and to push the edges so that because I am so fired up by the impact I want to have. And yes, I get to be highly compensated and rewarded while I'm doing it. But the deeper why is the impact I want to have on the world. And I feel it so deeply in my heart. So deeply in my heart. And so instead, that impact, the trickle effect of the impact, is what motivates us as empath leaders to brush up against our edges when our subconscious is always gonna say, don't do that. It gives us something that overrides that and allows us to get really super, super brave. And the truth is, the edge of your comfort zone is where the leader lives. She lives in the edge of her comfort zone. She is always brushing up against those energetic maximums, minimums, ceilings, programs internally wound within her. The empath leader lives in that area. She goes first. She makes up her mind. She makes decisions, she has opinions, and she is not always agreeable. That's for all the inner good girls out there. And she must be constantly holding up a mirror to herself so that she can see the shadow behind her, her blind spots, her programming, so that she can get out of her own damn way. Because like I said, the ego will constantly want you to stop. It'll say, you're not good enough. It'll bring in comparison. Ego will say, that's not safe. You don't know enough. Who are you to? You're not supposed to. You're wrong. You're bad. You're not blank enough. That ego was designed exactly to do that. Yet I know if you're listening, you are a big, dreaming, high-achieving empath leader. And you might not feel like a 10 out of 10 yet, but you know you want to get there. And the ego is literally trained to make you stop. So, look, every cell in my body screamed when I quit my 9-to-5 job. It did not feel safe. My stomach dropped out of my butt the first time I went live on a live stream like today. I have sweat through my clothing when I've been recording, and especially when I recorded my first ever module for a program. The first time I realized that not everyone was going to align with my message or like me in the way I show up on social media, the way I show up in my life, I sat up in bed thinking about it. They don't all like me. They don't all like me. The first time I had a woman ask for a refund to a program, I wanted to cry. The difference between massive impact and growing a business as like a hobby or experiment is that I still showed up and I kept living in the edges of comfort. And every time I showed up, I also activated my self-awareness so that I could notice. I could notice that the woman who wanted the refund and maybe wanted to cry, I probably did cry. I'm sure I cried. But my self-awareness was so turned on that I could see, this really bothers me. I want to cry because this person didn't like my program. And then I could explore it. Instead of sitting in it and being like, well, I'm going to back way the fuck up and I'm not going to push the edge anymore because this doesn't feel good. This hurts. Instead, I went almost like this, taking this archetype of the crying, hurt girl within me and going, I see that this is hurting you. And this is a powerful moment to explore that deeper. So I can see like what triggered me and what layers of myself can I unearth, and I can go deeper into my healing. And I've done this hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of times now in my business, where something has triggered, something has been challenging, something has come up, something has burned me out, something has made me want to pull my hair out and been frustrated, or maybe resentful in my business as a leader, as a coach, as a mentor and a teacher. But the difference is I take that part of me, and instead of being like, I am going to now run away because that feels fucking scary, and instead I go, let me look at this part of myself, hold up the mirror, see the shadow, that disowned, unconscious, wanting to hide part of yourself, and I'm going to look at it. Because every stage of leadership there's lightning outside. Did you guys see that on my face? Now the thunder is coming. This happens on every powerful live stream, I swear to you. Last time I talked about empath leadership, there was a giant thunderstorm. What was I saying? Every stage of leadership and building your business, your journey of entrepreneurship, uproots something new. Uproots something new within you, about you, seen within your audience, seen within requests for refunds, or people who just don't like you, or facing the reality that there's gonna be trolls on the internet who are mean, or doing things for the first time, like live streams, like putting yourself out there and sharing a part of your own personal story or healing journey that you've never shared before. It's gonna rustle you up. And we can choose to let that rustling make us run away, or we can choose to let that rustling be a mirror that we can then look at within ourselves and discover that every time a barrier, a trigger, tears, frustration come up in your journey, these are opportunities for self-discovery. Opportunities for self-discovery. And even though the ego will continue to make you feel like you're getting in your own way, your ego is actually saying, hey, we're ready for the next layer of healing. We're ready to go deeper. Your healing can actually pick up speed, and that's where we get into the whole quantum leaping buzzword conversation. But that really does happen when you are so good as the leader of holding up the mirror and living in the edges of your comfort. This journey speeds up. Sometimes it even feels easy. Sometimes you get so good at it, it can be fun. It's not always fun. It's just not. But sometimes it can be. And every time you do this, every time I do this, every time I share a story like today about doing this, I give permission, you give permission to another woman, another human being out there to do the same. And that is how you be and live as the embodied leader. There's more lightning. Can you guys hear that? Every time you choose to do the inner work, you embody that leadership role and you give permission to another human being to do the same. You are a living, breathing embodiment of pushing the edges, going first, making decisions, being polarizing, having opinions, and not just being fine in your people-pleasing, good girl persona and archetype where, yes, you're fucking comfortable. But that is not where leaders live. We're allowed to have fun. It's allowed to be easy. You're allowed to be comfortable at times. But the leader is constantly brushing up against that edge. So here's an example of this, just like a micro example of this in my life. Last night I was in this like dream state, and I saw in my dream state, like in my third eye vision, I saw a picture of my Facebook group, the Empath Healers membership Facebook group, in this cover photo I made about a month ago. And I was like seeing this in my third eye, and I like saw that there's like the earth is on it, and there's like, I don't know, it's white lettering. And in my third eye, I just like saw these two letters dissolve, the L, the H and the L. And they were replaced by an L and a D, because this membership was called Empath Healers. But my intuition was showing me like, no, the word, it needs to be leader. It needs to be Empath Leaders. So I woke up then this morning after my little dream state and this very clear vision that I was having. And I was like, no. Ego says no. I already wrote the sales page. The sales page already says Empath Healers all over it. The membership already has 25 women in it. They already know it as being called #Empath Healers. We've already been running it for a month, and we've already been doing trainings. It's already out there. Yesterday I posted on my personal page the same photo that said Empath Healers. I can't change it. I can't change now. I'm launching it today. I'm launching it fucking today. I can't change it this morning, the morning of a launch. And then I said, this is an edge. This is an edge. I'm changing it. I am a leader, and I listen to my intuition. I listen to my gut. And I'm changing this. I'm changing the name of the program. Ego says, what if people think you're unorganized? People are going to think you're unorganized. People are going to think that, like, you don't have your shit together. What? No. Did anyone think that? If they did, they're not a good match, right? But I don't think anyone thought that. My ego told me that. My ego was wrong. Squash it. Squash it. Leaders listen to their gut. Leaders listen to their intuition, and they change the name of programs on the day that they launch. So I changed it. And then some of you are in the group already. I told the group why I changed it. I switched the graphics. Bam. It was not hard. It was done. It was done within 30 minutes. It was 0% a big deal. My ego was so wrong. So wrong. It took me 30 minutes. So I want you to go back now. In the beginning of this training, I asked you to write out 2 lists. What words, keywords, buzzwords you associate with like good leaders. Good leaders, powerful leaders are powerful, are strong, are brave, are confident, are wealthy, are smart, are intelligent, are embodied, are impactful. What are the words that you wrote in the beginning of this? What are the words that you associate with that good leader? And what are the words that you associated that I asked you to write a second list? And the second list was about the things that feel scary about stepping into your leadership role. I don't know enough. People are going to tell me I'm wrong. I'm too nervous. I'm going to be embarrassed. I'm not pretty enough. I don't know enough. Did I already say that one? Maybe that's one coming up in the collective right now. Look at those 2 lists. Go back to those lists. The list about why it's scary, the truth is that list doesn't just disappear magically. Because your highly sensitive, beautiful ego is always going to try and protect you. It's always going to try and protect you. The scary, the fear, the nervousness, the anxious excitement doesn't just disappear. Embodied, empowered, empath leaders still have tinges of that. They don't live in this sentence. You guys can write this sentence out. Once I blank, then I'll blank. Who's living that way right now? Call yourself out. Who is living that way? Once I blank, then I'll blank. Once I get certified, then I'll launch my business. Once I have a logo, then I'll launch my first program. Once I have the first 5 modules recorded, then I'll put a price point to it and maybe consider talking about it on social media. Once I buy new makeup, I'll do my first live stream. Once I write the first 5 chapters of the book, I'll consider hiring a book coach. That is living at effect of external circumstances, and once like an end destination. Living at effect. Once I blank, then I'll blank. And I mean this in the most loving way. You are never going to be the 10 out of 10 leader if you live at effect. And if you live in accordance with, once I blank, then I'll blank. Because you're always going to be waiting for something outside of yourself to make your choices and make your goddamn decisions. Leaders brush the edges of the comfort zone. They go first. They make choices. They get polarizing. They stand up for what they believe in. They get passionate and fiery, like you guys see in me time to time, maybe a lot lately. This is called living at cause. Leaders live at cause. I am at cause for my choices. I do not wait for all the little ducks to line up in a perfect row before I do the thing that, remember we just talked about, what is the impact that drives you? What is the impact you want to have on the world? They don't wait for all the little duckies to line up, or I said I wanted to impact animals, right? I was like, I want to save all the dogs. I don't wait for 50 homeless, unhealthy dogs that need medical attention to show up in my driveway and then decide I'm going to help them. That's never fucking gonna happen. Instead, I live at cause and I make a plan. I am being the energy and embodiment of who I need to be in order to create that impact. That's my big goal, right? Like that's the future goal. But there's also the current goal of touching your lives as empath entrepreneurs and leaders of the world. And I don't wait for all of you to say, Sarah, teach me, to teach you. Or to be the role model of that. Obviously the imperfect role model of that. But still, like the imperfectness is beautiful. And instead, I'm at cause. And I say, if this is who I want to serve and support in my life and in my business, I gotta go do it. I'm not waiting for the people to just sit here and show up. The other truth is that all those things on your list about the leader that you admire, the good leader, the strong, powerful, impactful, embodied leader, those traits are already in you. You may not see them. You may not be consciously aware of them, but they exist within you already. They are already there. They are already there. My desire is to help you to unearth them and let them become more prominent, more obvious, so that you can see them with your own eyes, because I see them within you already, and now it is your turn to see them within yourself. Because we need leaders on this planet right now. Right now. When you guys think of the major leaders of the world in all industries, how many of them are you like, yes, I'm so glad this is the person leading us as a planet, as a collective, as a community, as a society? Not too many? There is a new paradigm of embodied feminine leaders that is rising right now. I'm seeing it show up in so many synchronicities and areas of my life and myself. My question to you is, do you desire to be one of those embodied feminine leaders? If so, I invite you to join me for the Empath, not healers, but leaders membership. The doors are opening literally right this second. If I can drop a comment into my own live stream, which I've never done, oh my God, it's gonna work. There it is. There it is. The doors are open and the invitation is there for you. The basics, this is healing for the leaders and healers of the world, because we need to have our own containers of support. If we're gonna be brushing up against those edgy edges, sticky edges of our comfort zone pretty continuously, we're gonna need massive support. I thought about this the other day. I was like, am I as supported as I wanna be in my life and business? Am I as supported as I wanna be? Okay, I have a therapist, I have 3 coaches, I have a team of about 10, all included. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty supported. I need that support in order to be constantly pushing up against my edges. Do you have the support you desire to be able to be pushing up against your edges? This membership, the basic vibration within it is also that this like slogan that I made up, which is your inner work will impact your outer world. I might not be the first person to ever say that, but it's definitely like the codes that are within this membership program. Your inner work will affect your outer world. When you sit down and you give yourself the time to explore and observe your being, especially the embodiment of it, your outer world will start to change. We just had a call today inside of this membership program, and it was beautiful to see women's realities already changing. We went inside today, and their outside already started to see it differently. That's how quickly it can happen. But this is not just a one-time call. The layers are going to be continuously peeling back inside of this membership, inside of your journey within the membership, like an onion, peeling back the layers. And we're going to keep going and uncovering and uprooting and unearthing, because we have years and years and years and years of heavy weighted, cemented armor and programming that has told us to do it a different way, a way that does not feel fucking good, a way that has kept us small, a way that tells us we can't. We never will. And that 10 out of 10 is for other people and not ourselves. And that's a fucking lie. It's a lie. And it's time to change that. So what is included inside of this monthly membership is 1 breathwork session that is transformative, different theme every month, 1 group coaching call, life and business, 1 healing session. That's what we did today. Today we did belief recoding. Last month we did 2 healing sessions. There was a bonus, which include generational healing and releasing shame. You get access to all these recordings when you sign up today. You also get 10 to 50% off of my other uncensored empath programs. And I'm adding more in the future. This is it's going to continue to grow. It is a living, breathing membership that will be changed and added onto. And like, my intention is to bring in guest experts. My intention is to provide even more support. There's already a Facebook support group that you can tap into the second you join. But you're not, if you say yes to this, if your heart is like, pam, yeah, I want to get in there, you're not saying yes to the things I just told you. Those deliverables, that little list I just lifted off, that's not what you're saying yes to. You're saying yes to the container as a whole. You're saying yes to yourself. You're saying yes to being the 10 out of 10 leader that is fully embodied, fully self-aware, and a master at observing herself or himself. You're saying yes to being supported continuously as you grow and you step into your next level. And one more thing. This month, so not even just this month, so the next 30 days through August 15th, $33.33 of every enrollment inside of the Empath Leaders membership is going to be donated to the Loveland Foundation. So this is a foundation organization that provides financial assistance to Black women and girls all across the US that are seeking therapy. Because therapy typically ranges from $60 to $250 per session, and there's a stigma around mental health issues in many communities, and most of the therapists in the US are white. It is often difficult for Black women and girls to get access to therapy when they need it. And so it is my commitment that 30%, that's that $33.33 of every enrollment will be donated to the Loveland Foundation, because it's time to create more equity within the self-help, coaching, personal development world. It's past time. It is so past due, and it is my desire to make an impact in that area of the world as well. Not just empath entrepreneurs, not just rescuing furry animals, but also equity in the coaching, therapy, self-help industry. That is my commitment, and you get to be part of that. I'm asking you to be part of that. And then we get to celebrate on August 15th, whatever that total is, that gets donated to the Loveland Foundation to support women and girls. The link is already below. If you have questions, please let me know, but I want to leave you with one powerful question that comes from A Course in Miracles. And the question is, universe, God, spirit, what would you have me do? As the thunder rolls in, what would you have me do? Feel into that. The invitation is open. If it feels in high alignment for you and you are craving that embodied empath leadership, I hope to see you inside. Again, if you have questions, please drop them below. Have a beautiful rest of your night. I am about to just dance in the rain and play in this thunderstorm before my illuminated coach trading call later. And I'm going to be celebrating each and every one of you who say yes to this container. Thank you all. I love you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.